So I've been reading some very interesting articles that have been popping up over the weekend, and they've best been described as controversial. So I was going to talk about them. So let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons and how it is currently being under monetized. And I mean, this came directly from the folks at Wizards of the Coast. So as a fan of business, I thought this to be kind of not just interesting, but kind of just crazy to say out loud. I mean, yeah, you might feel it internally, and it might be something you think about or something you even say once in a while. But to say it to the public is really kind of the dumbest move I've seen in a long time. What WotC has said is pretty much the same mentality that Games Workshop had for a long time. Their mindset, and they're talking the 90s. We're talking early mid 90s. And they wanted all your money. If you had money in your pocket, they were more than willing to turn you upside down and shake it out of your pockets. I mean, they wanted the money. Their mindset was, you have money, that should be our money. And kind of that's continued for as long as I can remember when I stopped playing Games Workshop. Because there are so many people who are always like, oh, I'm already taxed out what I'm getting from them. I don't want to spend any more money on stuff. And them developing online services that basically hold their books and stuff and holding access is a way for them to be able to keep coming to you in the pocket to get money out of. Now, everybody knows I'm a business guy. I think as a business, this is a great idea. Personally, I think it's a stupid idea. I mean, there's only so much people are going to buy from you. I mean, that mentality of we're not monetizing in the right ways always makes me laugh, because it's like they naturally assume that they're going to get all your money. Like, you have entertainment money and it's all going to go to them. And I guess that from a business perspective makes sense, but back in reality, it doesn't make any sense. There is going to be a certain amount of money that you're going to get from your fan base on the products that you sell. You will always get this amount. You might get a little bit more, but realistically, you're going to get this percentage of money they're willing to spend. And that's what you're going to get. Because there's always other options that are always cheaper, faster, and more fun. So, find out, or at least in my mindset, find out where you fit in and go in there. Look, I am not as big as WotC. I never will be. People will not buy 10,000 copies of my product in its current form. They just won't. It's just silly to believe that. But I also know that building the trust in between myself and my fan base, I don't want to abuse that and be like, hey guys, I love you a lot, but I'm going to turn you upside down and shake you for the money. That's just not a positive thing to do. Even from a business perspective. You want to, for a lack of a term, you want to be able to take a couple dollars from them. Boom, a couple dollars every time. Boop, here's some money. Boop. So it's not an effect to them. So they don't feel it per se, and you don't overburden them with the cost of getting stuff. I think that goes, kind of hand in hand, why comic books are not in the place they should be. Telling somebody, yes, you need to buy a $5 comic book. No one's going to buy a $5 comic book for less than 20 minutes of excitement. I mean, dude, that ratio of money doesn't even make sense. I don't get that part of it. I don't understand why people think that's a good idea. Hey, I'm going to charge $6 for a comic book. How about $7? Hey, there comes to a point where people say, you know what, I'll do something else. It becomes too expensive. When I was a kid, we also used to say the same joke. Oh, I can't get into drugs. I'm already addicted to comics. Or I get into drugs. I'm already addicted to Games Workshop. Because that's where all my money's going. If I got into drugs, I might actually be saving some money. So, I don't know if this is going to be a positive thing, which it doesn't seem like it is. And I hope there's some other options for people out there. Because I think WotC is, for a lack of a term, they've overplayed their hand. But we'll see, They did make a bunch of money last quarter, and people raved about how impressive it was until they found out that wasn't all the money they were really be satisfied with. See, that's the problem with business. You're only satisfied with more. And Wati wants a whole lot more from you. Thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. Do me a huge favor. If you like what we talked about, click the thumbs up button. If you don't like what we talked about, click the thumbs down button. We're good either way. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you all later.